Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you yet another Dead Walking Dead characters video. Today we will be looking at a bunch of stormtroopers, those being McHugh, Phillips, and the rest of their squadron, these three dudes, who were all killed at the auto junkyard, so I'm just sort of nicknaming them the Commonwealth Junkyard Troopers. Now, I covered Romano, who's their, commander, in a previous episode. I'll leave a link to that down in the description. And this will be focused on the rest of the men and not Romano. So listen, I have no way of telling these guys apart, okay? So I don't know if these guys appeared in other scenes before the episodes I know that they definitely appeared in. So because of that, I'm just going to be covering the scenes that I know for sure they were in. So McHugh is of course male. He is played by Lucas Hammond. He is late 20s to early 30s and first appeared in No Other Way. Phillips is of course male. He is played by Nathan W. Collins. He is mid to late 30s and first appeared in No Other Way. The other three, honestly, no clue. Seems they're all male, no clue on their ages, and I guess they also first appear in No Other Way. Nothing is known about their lives before the outbreak, but after it began, at some point they found the Commonwealth, which was a massive community located in Ohio, and they signed up to be a part of the Commonwealth Army, basically serving as cops and soldiers kind of at the same time. We don't know how involved they were with the shady dealings, but it does seem more likely than not they were loyal to Lance Hornsby. In Season 11, McHugh is first seen at the station. He's assigned to Sector C along with Howell by Colonel Vickers. He suits up and then listens to Sebastian brag about his heart rate decreasing when dealing with the rotters, and Sebastian asks Daryl to back him up. Daryl makes a fool out of Sebastian, and McHugh laughs, making Sebastian all embarrassed. It can be assumed then he went with Howell to go guard Sector C. McHugh, Phillips, and the other three troopers then help to investigate what happened at Riverbend under Lance's order. I can't tell who's who, of course, but they clearly help to gather evidence and put those little evidence card things on the ground and write up reports. And Lance eventually brings the 5 men on a mission to the hilltop in an effort to smoke out the potential Riverbend murderers. Lance stops in the woods and the 5 men watch as Daryl, Gabe and Aaron take out a bunch of dead on their own. After defeating the dead, Lance tells the men to keep on marching forwards. Eventually they make their way to the hilltop and march to the gates under Lance's lead. Maggie doesn't let them in at first and Lance talks about forcing themselves in, but Daryl is able to sway her. They search the hilltop and then hold their guns up at Maggie and co. after Lance is grabbed by Elijah after Lance was talking to Herschel. Daryl diffuses the situation and Lance instructs all 5 of those men that they're packing up and leaving once again. They camp in the woods at night, and one or more of them might have helped to track down Leah and then accompany Lance when he goes to speak to her. I don't know. Offering her a deal, of course, to kill Maggie. The next morning, Lance then does a coin toss with all 5 of the men, and he assigns Phillips, McHugh, and the other 3 in Romano's little squad, and the rest of the troopers obviously stay with Lance. So Phillips, McHugh, and the other dudes follow Romano and Gabriel, Aaron, and Daryl to this random-ass house to search for the Riverbenders, and they watch Romano deal with some dead as he's almost bitten. They carry on through to the woods, coming across a junkyard in the distance. Romano gives his men a secret code or something, so they know that they're now ready to kill Gabe, Daryl, and Aaron. Tensely, they follow their 3 targets to the auto junkyard, and the 5 troopers circle around the men like vultures, readying themselves to attack. They give each other nods of approval, ready to fire, but Daryl fires first at Romano. The troopers begin to fire at their targets, one of them hitting Gabriel in the hand and Aaron in the shoulder. They pin in those Alexandrians and they continue to fire as they reposition around the cars. One of them, this one, I can't be sure who he is, but let's just say he's an unnamed one for now, shoots at Daryl after he starts beating on Romano. Naughty. Aaron then gets a gun and does this to one of the unnamed troopers. Shot in the head by Aaron. The second unnamed returns fire at Aaron as his friend is killed. Phillips moves up on the other end, trying to suss out a priest, shouting to his men, he's moving up. However, Gabriel sneaks up and does this to Phillips. Stabbed in the knee, I think, and then kicked in the head. Lol, I don't know if he died from that, but whatever. Seems he's knocked out at least. Anyway, moving on. Daryl gets another unnamed trooper in his sights. He pulls the trigger, and this happens to another unnamed trooper. Shot in the head by Daryl. Another trooper comes running at the men, and this happens to this trooper. Shot in the shoulder by, I'm pretty sure, Gabriel. He falls to the ground and winces in pain, and I'm not sure what happens to him after this. I'll talk about it in a moment. The last trooper alive, and listen, this could be McHugh or plot twist. Any of the other ones I've said were unnamed previously could also have been McHugh, because like I said, I can't actually tell. So whichever one you want to pretend is McHugh, you do that. But I'm going to say that the last one standing was McHugh. Why not? So McHugh, the last one left, he aims out, shooting at Aaron, Gabriel, and Daryl. And I suppose this happens to McHugh. Shot by Aaron. At least I'm just assuming that Aaron kills him in this scene, because there's this sudden dramatic end to the scene that just makes me think that Aaron killed him, right? Because Aaron looks to the zombies and then aims towards him, so I'm gonna say that that's his death, okay? What happened to the dude who was shot in the shoulder? Now, he either died from blood loss or, we'll talk about it here, because off screen, all of the men, including Phillips, who likely was just knocked out. So Phillips, the dude shot in the shoulder, and the bodies of the rest were all devoured by the incoming walkers. R.I.P. McHugh, Phillips, and the other 3 dudes. Okay, so look, these guys are literal stormtroopers. They can't aim, they have no personality, no wants, no desires, boring characters, very boring. But I like looking at them, okay? There's no story I can bring out of it, okay? They were just some absolute fools who were tricked by Lance Hornsby's way. It's kind of like Where's Wally trying to figure out who's who, but I'll be honest, it's a bitch with these guys because they just all look the same in their armor. Anyway, thanks for watching this video breaking down the troopers. Next week we've got one more Season 11 video to do, and then we're doing the last unseen wheel pick, and then we're going to be, for the foreseeable future, back on the random picking wheel. Thanks for watching again. I'll see you in the next one. Tell me your thoughts. Goodbye.